ever since taking power back then at the end of 2011, Kim Jong-un has worked tirelessly to crack down on both defections and smuggling within his kingdom. Then, at the very end of 2011, something different happened. The man who had ruled North Korea as the supreme leader ever since 1994 suddenly died in December, and his son, Kim Jong-un, succeeded him. And ever since taking power back then at the end of 2011, Kim Jong-un has worked tirelessly to crack down on both defections and smuggling within his kingdom. Signal jammers began getting installed all across the northern frontiers and remote mountain passes to block out foreign cell and satellite signals. Intelligence monitoring of phone calls in the northern areas were increased, while more border fences were being built up and patrols increased. Meanwhile, China began increasingly developing its own massive surveillance state apparatuses after the passing of the PRC cybersecurity law in 2016. Within just 4 years from then, by 2020, the Chinese had likely increased the number of their surveillance cameras operating all across the country to more than 620 million. More than 12 times as many surveillance cameras operating across the United States, combined with increasingly rigorous monitoring of internet and cell services, since China has always treated all North Korean defectors as illegal immigrants. These sweeping changes to surveillance in China made it far easier for the Chinese authorities to detect them in the country, while they were trying to make it across to the safer countries in Thailand, Vietnam, or Mongolia, and made their journeys significantly more dangerous and risky than they had ever been before. Back in 2007, the average price that a broker in China would charge to help a North Korean defector escape to Thailand or Vietnam was around $2,000. North Korean, but still theoretically doable. But by 2012, shortly after Kim Jong-un took power, the price had doubled to around $4,000. By 2015, the price the brokers were charging had doubled again to about $8,000. And by 2017, the prices were anywhere between $13,000 and $16,000 per each defector. Because most North Koreans earn less than $2,000 a year, saving up those kinds of sums to escape would take them years or even decades of scraping by to do. So it became no longer realistic for most to hire a broker to help them unless they already had family members who had escaped before them who could save up the money on their behalf with higher paying jobs in developed economies like South Korea. Thus, at some point in the 2010s, there became a point where the overwhelming majority of North Koreans could only escape the country if they chose to do so completely on their own, without any help from the outside, which would require them to travel on their own across the mountainous border in the north, and then somehow make it all the way through a massive country like China, with an unparalleled surveillance state, where they don't know the local language at all, in order to get towards a safe country like Mongolia, Thailand, or Vietnam, and never get caught by the police along the entire way. Good luck with that for most. As a result, the trend of people successfully escaping out of North Korea began dwindling downwards with every passing year after Kim Jong-un took power, as it became increasingly difficult for people to do so. By 2019, only a total of 1,047 North Koreans managed to get out of the country to South Korea.